ordinarily, I would argue that every Ghanaian has a right to employment, as enshrined in the Constitution. However, employment, like you said, is not an event, it's a process. You have to go through a certain... I must say this issue we are dealing with is not new. And none of us have sat down to look at the reasons why this keep on coming and we don't find solution to it. You see, some time ago, I think that now we'll remember that we had Apollo 568, where almost 600 public servants, civil servants were dismissed in this country. They went to court and the court ruled that they should be reinstated. And then our then Prime Minister said, no court can force an employer to work with an employee. So the labor maxim became, no court can force an employee also to work with an employer, vice versa. The historical accounts are many.
The employment contract is not one of servitude. It's not one of master and servant.
Yes.
So the same way that the employee has a right to get up one day and decide that I'm not interested in this job, they can go away.
Yes.
The same way the employer too can terminate, but they will do that within the confines of the contract of employment and the law.
That's what I'm coming to. You see, I was talking about a certain problem that we have not addressed. When we went to the Constitutive Assembly and we wrote the Constitution, we were so happy trying to do what we called a fusion of the executive type of governance and also the Westminster type of governance. You know, the executive type is what is happening in America now. As soon as a new president comes, all the old top guys also go away and he appoints new people. Then in Britain, the situation is a bit different. This is something that we have to understand as a country that is a challenge. Because every time there's a change, this upheavals in the civil service comes up. I have listened to various arguments in relation to this particular issue. And I want to accept your situation that the outgoing government was put on notice at the transitional period, the team that said, you are doing these recruitments. And you see, recruitments are not by themselves the end. They have to be paid. And therefore, an incoming government would have to budget for whatever expenditure it has to take up. We also have not forgotten the famous single spine, which was almost thrust on Professor Mills, and that disorganized our labor cost in this country. So when an incoming government has not budgeted, it becomes a bit difficult for you to come and see this number of new employees, even more than the old employees in place. The incoming government has a duty to do strategic appointments. He finds that Samson will be good as my Attorney General. Then he puts it there. For a good reason, they do such strategic appointments. Now, if the incoming president come to see that instead of his desire to put Samson Yalley is there. You see what I'm talking about? That becomes a little bit of a problem. As for Dr. Bawumia's epistles, I'm used to it.
Just one epistle.
Just one.
And he says he's constrained because he had promised himself that he would give the president time So he will settle in and begin the business of government. But this one, he feels he must say something.
Right.
And please note, he titled it Appeal.
Yes, I'm coming to that, Samson. I'm saying that I'm used to it because I've listened to him several times and he's coming out with opinions, some very legitimate, some political. Now, Dr. Bawumia, you were the vice president for this country for 8 years. And the people that you had recruited and fostered on the new government, what prevented you from recruiting them, employing them during the 8 years? The appeal, you see, as an appeal, this is accepted or not accepted. But I think the appeal is very, very unfounded in the sense that if you, as the vice president, did not appeal to your president then to do such recruitment, I don't think it lies well in your mouth to assume the role to be doing this appeal to a new president. Besides that, Samson, I have heard some argument that, you say you are going to do 24-hour economy and recruit more people. But did we say that we are going to do 24-hour economy and therefore somebody should do our appointment for us? We have our own strategy and how we are going to manage this country.
Government.
Come again?
Government.
Yes.
It's a continuum.
I understand. But
and the people who have been employed, recruited, are Ghanaians.
I understand.
So what's the problem?
The problem is that if you have not been appointed properly, you cannot be there, just defend yourself that I'm a Ghanaian and therefore I should be there. For example, I'm over 60 years, and if I'm found as a CEO of an organization just because I'm a Ghanaian, I have seen a video or a picture of some immigration officers or some prison officers of some people shorter than the requirement of the police service. I've seen them, very short. Some are, very old people.
That's not what we are talking about here, are we?
Yes.
Because
it includes
there is no investigation that has been conducted to show that these people were improperly recruited and that any regulations or rules or laws were breached in their recruitment.
Samson, the best thing to do is to halt the process and do an investigation. I heard my very good friends, Ofosu Kwache, saying that
Kwache
Ofosu, the portal will be reopened for people to now apply or reapply. And if you qualify by the standard that the government will set, you'll be readmitted.
It is state funds that were used for the process. The state funds have to be used again. That's waste. That's like causing financial loss. If the people you are throwing away, you will need the same number of people, and those people have the opportunity to come back.
That is to say that we will need the same number and the same type of people. If we will not need the same short people in our police services, if we will not need the same overaged persons in our services, it cannot be the same number. You understand? So